And I give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Mr. President, I thank USG for Peace Operations Jean-Pierre Lacroix and Executive Director for Women Sima Bahous for their insightful briefings. I also thank Dr. Derso of Amani, Africa, for his remarks. I would like to highlight 3 key points regarding the ongoing situation in South Sudan. First, Greece remains deeply concerned about the continued erosion of the power-sharing arrangements established under the revitalized agreement. Unilateral decisions, including the dismissal and replacement of Sudan People's Liberation Movement Army in Opposition officials, the creation of parallel administrative structures, and the ongoing of the first Vice President Machar trial seriously undermined trust among the parties. These developments weaken the spirit of inclusivity and compromise that the agreement was meant to preserve and risk reversing the fragile gains achieved since its signing. Greece calls on all stakeholders to refrain from unilateral measures, to fully respect the provisions of the revitalized agreement, and to resume a genuine dialogue as the only viable path toward national reconciliation and lasting stability. We also encourage IGAD and the African Union as guarantors of the peace process to intensify their engagement and ensure adherence to the commitments undertaken by all signatories. Second, according to the Secretary General's report, the security situation in Upper Nile and Equatoria continues to deteriorate, marked by renewed clashes between the South Sudan People's Defense Forces and SPLM-AIO. These confrontations have led to civilian casualties and large-scale displacement. Greece strongly condemns all violations of the 2017 Cessation of Hostilities Agreement and echoes the Secretary General's call for an immediate cessation of armed confrontations. We are equally alarmed by reports of arbitrary arrests, extrajudicial executions, and restrictions on civic and political space. Respect for human rights, the rule of law, and due process is indispensable for restoring public confidence and achieving sustainable peace. In this regard, Greece welcomes the recent expansion of the judiciary and the adoption of a new code of conduct as important steps towards strengthening judicial integrity and accountability. Third, the consistently high number of grave violations against children in South Sudan is deeply concerning, predominantly recruitment and use, abduction and killing and maiming. Attacks on schools and hospitals, as well as the military use of these facilities, continue to deprive children of their basic rights and safety. Both non-state actors and government security forces bear responsibility for these violations. Excuse me. Greece calls on all parties to the conflict to immediately end and prevent all grave violations against children and to release the children that still remain in their ranks. We also call the government to ensure accountability for perpetrators of all violations. And in this regard, we commend UNMISS for its work and especially for its ongoing child protection initiatives. Mr. President, Greece reiterates also its strong commitment to advancing the WPS agenda in South Sudan. Women remain underrepresented in leadership, holding only around 20% of positions, despite the 35% target set by the revitalized agreement. Echoing the earlier joint statement on WPS, Greece reaffirms its support for the full, equal, and meaningful participation of women in all political and peace processes. Sustainable peace cannot be achieved without their leadership, protection, and empowerment. Finally, Greece reaffirms its steadfast support for the work of Special Representative Nicholas Haysom and the continued presence of UNMISS. Its role in facilitating the peace process, monitoring human rights, and enabling humanitarian access remains essential and irreplaceable. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for the